Hi everyone, thanks for joining this next section. Again, my name is Chris Plowman. I'm a Client Solution Manager at Magenic. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can get your environment set up for working with Google Cloud Platform. Obviously, to start, you need to have a GCP account. So if you don't already have that, go to cloud.google.com. And there you'll be able to sign up and create an account. You'll initially get, at least at the time of this video, a $300 credit, so you can start working without having to pay a bunch of money out front. Once you have that, you can log into the console, which I've already done here. That's just console.cloud.google.com. Here I already have a project up, so you can see I go to a dashboard that has a bunch of project information. If you just create an account, you won't have a project yet, so it'll ask you to create one, and that'll get associated with the billing profile that you set up. So that'll have your free credits there that you can apply. So let's set up a new project that we can use for this series of videos. So I'm going to click here. And to create a new project, I'll just click the plus sign for Create Project. I'll give it a name, choose the billing account, and say Create. You can see that that's working over here in the notification bar, and it's creating a project. While it does that, the other thing that I'm going to need is the Google Cloud SDK. So here I jumped over to the docs, the quick start for Windows. You can just do a Google search for Google Cloud SDK Windows, and you'll be able to get to this quick start. And what I want is this link here that will get me the SDK installer. So I'm going to go ahead and run that. And then we'll run through this wizard in order to do the install. Here I'm going to go ahead and choose to include the beta commands. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. And this may run for a few minutes, so we'll come back when it's complete. Okay, and now the Cloud SDK has been installed. Click Next. We can leave all these default checks. The important ones are that it's going to start the Cloud shell and run the gcloud init command. Now it's popping up to ask me to log in. So I'm going to allow all these permissions. And there we go. Now it's authenticated. We can pop back over to the console and see what it's asking for now. So I have a few projects already created in my Google Cloud account. If you don't have existing projects, you won't get this prompt. It'll just select whatever project you do have created, your initial project. In my case, it's asking which one I want to have it default to initially. I can always change this later through the gcloud commands. For now, I'll choose that Pick Share Demo 1 that I created earlier. Now it's saying that the compute APIs are not enabled on the project and asking if I would like to enable them and retry, which I would. The next prompt that's come up is asking me if I want to configure Google Compute Engine. And by default, you can see from the capital letter Y that it will set that up. So I can either type in a Y to continue, or I can just hit Enter to accept that, which I will go ahead and do. Now I got a fairly long list of options here. So if we scroll up a little bit, we can see what it's actually asking about. So it's asking which zone I would want to use as the project default. And that's for Google Compute Engine. So because I'm in California, I'm going to choose one of the ones on US West. So towards the bottom, you can see there's a few options here. US West 1, C, B, and A are my different zones. I'm going to go ahead and choose US West 1, C. Wouldn't really matter which one I picked here, but you want to pick whatever's going to be closest to you or wherever you want to run your projects. And you can notice from the output that everything I'm setting here are just the initial settings. I can always go through and change them using the gcloud command. So Always really nice to be able to look back at those. If you want to change anything, or if things are not maybe looking the way you think they ought to, you can go see what your current settings are using that command. So the gcloud really has a good range of features and options for you. Okay, and that's done. So now I have the Cloud SDK installed. So the next thing I'm going to want to do is I want to set up my Visual Studio environment as well. So I'm going to switch over to Visual Studio that I already have running. I'm going to go up to Tools, Extensions and Updates. I'm going to click where it says Online and do a search for Google Cloud. And this first result in my search results is the Google Cloud Tools for Visual Studio. That's what I want. So I'm going to go ahead and click Download. Once I close Visual Studio, that installer will get kicked off. I'll click Modify to go ahead and accept the licensing terms and do the installation. And that's complete. Now when I restart Visual Studio, I can go into the Tools menu and I'll see this Google Cloud Tools. And for now, I'll show the Google Cloud Explorer. I'll go ahead and allow the usage statistics. I'm just going to dock that so that I have easy access to it. And I'll add my account, which is again going to ask me to authenticate. And again, grant some permissions. And now Visual Studio is authorized. I'll go ahead and close a couple of these windows. All right, and now in my Google Cloud Explorer, I can see some things popped up. Have some App Engine options, Compute Engine, Cloud Storage, Cloud SQL, and Cloud PubSub. So we'll be going through some of these items in a little bit later in the video series. So take a look at the overall blog post if you want, or you can look at the YouTube playlist as well. But for now, we have the environment set up and we're ready to actually do some fun stuff. So that's the end of this video. Thank you for watching.